Hi everyone. I was out today and attended a exercise session in a seated exercise program here in the community where I live. After the exercise portion was completed, we had a discussion about falls and fall prevention. This is quite personal to me. Before my hip joints were replaced, there were different times where I would stand up and I would literally be like dead weight and fall backwards immediately. Since then, and with my knees, I've had to deal with the same thing again, and it's something that periodically happens, so I genuinely understand about this topic. I want to share with you sort of the summary of the discussion that we had today about falls and fall prevention. What the most important thing I can say to you is to be aware of your environment, and so this is being aware of your environment. The other part of it is being aware of your own self and your needs. And where these two intersect, you can see it right in here. Where they intersect is how you take your steps, when you take your steps, and how you can have confidence taking the steps that is possible for you. So whether it's just the transfer from wheelchair to toilet, or from wheelchair to your bed, or there's a really comfortable chair for you in your home, like a lift chair, it's for you to have confidence and peace of mind that you can do so. So these are the things that you can have control over. Quality footwear, quality non-slip footwear. In other words, you're not wanting slippers that don't grip the floor on you when you're doing your transfers if your balance isn't good or if you're prone to falling. It's adding into the effect and the risk of falling. You're wanting your environment to not be full of clutter. So you don't want loose extension cords around. You don't want to have floor runners or short lengths of carpet on the floor. You want to have young children picking up after themselves. You're wanting to have furniture, that's tight to the walls, because you're wanting to create open areas where you can do your walking and do it with confidence. You're wanting to be mindful and intentional of where you store your shoes, boots, slippers, and any dress shoes if you've got your suit and tie on. You're wanting to be mindful of where you store these. And to be honest with you, it'd be easy enough if there's someone in your life that's handy to make you a little stand. You could start with a wooden TV tray or a wooden TV snacking stand, like this little table, and add a few more layers to it so that when you're reaching in, it's easy for you to do so. Because you're wanting to take steps that promote life and that enable you to live your life. And who really cares if you need a special stand for your shoes? People that may look on don't realize what it's like to be you. So if this is a tool that gives you life, you can try to explain it when someone asks the question, but at the end of the day, you need to be confident in who you are and then confident of what you need to manage your own life. Going outside and the bathroom are also really important. I'm talking about not slipping because of water or ice and having appropriate supports. There's a number of walkers that an occupational therapist could help you work out what the right model is for you. It's also about knowing your limits and when you need to acknowledge the need for help, whether it's a scooter, a wheelchair, or a walker, or crutches, or a cane. These are tools to help you. It's not about taking away who you are, just to help you get to where you're going and giving you independence and giving you dignity and respect while you're out living your life. So I want to ask you to think about these things I've said. This isn't by any means exhaustive. If you're struggling with falling, my gut instinct would be for you to pick up the phone and call the nearest nursing home and ask if they're going to be having class on fall prevention and could you sit in on it. Or the same thing with your local hospital. If you knock on a few doors and the answer's no, your follow-up question is, where is it held in this area so I can attend? Showing initiative kind of helps people have respect for you and that you're motivated, and maybe you don't live at the nursing home, but you'd be welcome to join as long as you're not disruptive and are genuinely attentive for the purposes of this. I understand the fear that goes with falling. I really do. If your doctor or if your healthcare team has encouraged you to walk, it's important that you do. I'd like to give you one idea that I can suggest. If you got some poles or like a wooden stand, you could make like a 10-foot walkway where this is beside you to help you as you go back and forth and you practice walking that short distance. There's certain muscle groups that are needing to be built up so you don't fall. Practicing walking is one way of doing them. There are a variety of chair exercises that you can do which will also discourage them. You're looking to build up your quad muscles. So that's the group of muscles between the knee and the hip. And then you're looking at building up your calf muscles. So the lower between your toes and maybe halfway up or 3/4 of the way up to the kneecap. There's different ways of doing it. You don't have to be standing necessarily, like an up and down motion with your ankles is one way of doing the calf muscles. One way of doing the quad muscles is to take a belt that's got some elastic in and then push out and then let go and then out, 1, 2, 3, in again. And then for the other pair of muscles, getting a coffee can, putting it between your inner thighs, knee area, and pushing in. Those are examples of isometric exercises. That is where you exercise or stress the joint without actually moving it. Isometric exercises tend to be the sort of the last thing you would try, but it is an entry road, and if that's what you need right now, then that's where you're at, and you run with it and use that as a skill or an option. So I wanted to give you the overview. Now, I'm not with you and can't give you one-on-one instruction, and I'm not a physiotherapist or an occupational therapist to do this, but I wanted to tell you what you need to be asking the right questions to the people that are helping you with your life. There are no lack of physiotherapy resources online for you to get information from that come from credible physiotherapists. However, nothing is more effective as sitting down sort of one-on-one and having a helpful discussion around the topic. And there'd be nothing wrong with having a very focused, interactive conversation with the physiotherapist if you only need it once. It may be worth it, and certainly if it's going to boost your quality of life, it's definitely worth it. Because there can be pain come in your body from the lack of use of your muscles, so that there is a need for exercise. Before you get frustrated with me, I acknowledge that it can be very hard figuring out what is right for you. Your motivation for doing so is that you're the one that's going to benefit from it. Being in pain can pull you down. It can affect your attitude. You can get snippy with people. It's very easy to just look down on life and start being withdrawn when you're in pain. So the reward that you're going to get by trying is improving your quality of life, as long as you have the mindset that it may not work the first time. It may take a few sessions for tweaking your needs, but you've got the most to benefit by trying. And if you put in the effort and you stick with it, it will pay off for you in the long run. I know I've thrown a lot at you in this video. I encourage you to watch it again in 2 or 3 days and see what clicks for you then. I realize not all of this is needed for every person, so I encourage you to take what you can, what's going to help you, and then for other parts, just acknowledge there's people out there that need a part that you already know about. Thanks so much for this time that you spent with me today. I appreciate you having me part of your life, and I do acknowledge the fear that falling can create, and that you're facing courage to address this issue in your life. Thanks so much for trusting me. Bye for now.